Hello and welcome to our brand new file that we are starting on Oxygen Not Included. So what we are going to be doing, as you might have seen, the name of the stream today is The Rime and the Reason, and that is because we are going to be making this on the Rime asteroid. I do find that that's probably my favorite one to play on. It is a cold one, but I find it quite enjoyable just because I don't have to worry so much about heat like you do on most of the other ones. But I figured I'd start right from the very beginning so you can see exactly how I've got it set up, exactly how my settings will be. It's going to be pretty much default except for one setting, which I will show you in a minute, but it is going to be on no sweat. We do not want to have to worry too much. We just want to have fun, and I want to show you how to do a few things that I've learned that I haven't necessarily seen some of the others do, because everybody does so much crazy automation in this game, and I don't. I do some, but I'm not smart enough for a lot of that crazy automation, so I find different ways to do things. So we are going to go with no sweat and classic, so we have a nice big starting asteroid. And then we're going to move ourselves over to the Rime asteroid, this nice frozen looking chunk of sandstone here. And in the game settings, the only thing that I'm changing in this from the default no sweat is going to be stress reactions. I am turning stress reactions off. I dislike them so much that they will actually make it so I don't want to play the game. So I'm just not going to deal with that, and we're just going to turn it right off. We do have some hunger. They're strong, but they're not indestructible. Well, we'll just see how things go here. So yeah, no sweat, stress reactions off. Now, I don't really know if I want the frozen core, so I might just refresh this a couple of times, see what kind of options I might get. Oh, that's not bad. Metal rich and geoactive. I am actually going to use this one, but I am also going to put this seed into the chat. So if anybody decides that they want to play this, that's going to be the seed. Alright. Start game. I am very particular about the starting dupes that I use. I try to find the best ones that I can for the nice early game, because I don't really want to have to struggle with that, with them trying to get things done. So I like to have a digger, a builder, and a researcher. And you get one of each of those, you're off to a great start. So by the end of the first day, my goal is to have 3 beds built, 3 outhouses built, and possibly getting my first research started, depending on the layout of my map. If I don't have copper or something directly nearby, that might be a little more difficult. Decreased athletics, definitely do not want that. So I'm going to have this guy be my builder. And I will re-roll these guys a number of times if I have to, but this guy's not bad. +3 construction, +4 science, immune to chili. Well, it's the chili asteroid, so that is perfect. I got an awesome builder. Now I need a digger. Excavation science, cannot do cooking errands. Well, that's unfortunate. I want to be able to do cooking errands for anybody. Immune to food poisoning, that's pretty good. Decreased agriculture, I don't mind too much about that. -10% seed chance. Well, I'm going to try to go with that one and see how that works for us. Now the next one is going to be researcher. So this one is going to be just straight up science. And if I can get a good secondary stat to go with it, that's awesome, but I don't think I need to. I think that these are going to be my 3 guys. So it's the rhyme and the reason. Embark. Oh, I should have made their outfits match. I always forget about that until I click that button. As soon as I click the button, I remember it. Okay, this is an interesting start. So I'm just going to pause it first. I always recommend pausing immediately so you can just kind of get a little lay of the land. So I'm going to want to go to the right and up. What do we got here? Bristle blossoms and muckroot. Okay, let's go, guys. I am going to turn the speed up on this a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean pretty much, I'll just go on 2 for now. But once I get a little bit more established, it will be up higher. But I tend to utilize more of the spacebar for pausing than using anything else. Like going on a slower speed and just not pausing. I would rather just pause, do what I need to do, set up the build, and continue on at a faster pace. So that's a vacuum up there. Oxylite right there. I got a decent amount of oxylite right here, so that's good. So I don't think I'm going to get my science started, my researches, on the first day here. And this is actually a kind of a terrible map, but it might be really good in some other ways, so we'll see how it goes. Now, with it being the Rime asteroid, we do have a lot of cold to deal with, but it's really not that bad. You can pretty much ignore it entirely, and it's never bothersome for them. Of course, with stress reactions turned off, that makes a bit of a difference, but once you get to the point of having things like a massage table and massage rooms built, and being able to consistently power multiple massage tables, you're fine. Now where am I going to build here to start? This area here I kind of want to leave because it's got the natural food right there, and that's kind of nice to have. And the water over here is going to be a pain, but maybe if I do this, I can mop it up. That's what I'll try to do. I'm going to mop it up. I am going to put the mop at a slightly higher priority than everything else, so that regardless of anything else, they try to get the mopping done first. Later on, I will be going through and using a lot of specific priorities for specific buildings or tasks. Just because of my personal playstyle, it tends to be better that way. Okay, so halfway through the day, don't like that because I'm going to end up running out of time. I just need to get the bathrooms built. I'm not even going to worry about anything else. 1, 2, and 3. Come on. Turn that speed up just a notch. You know, I didn't even check to see what my guys' names actually were, so I got Ellie, Mima, and Ashcan. Alright. I usually end up having an Abe early on. It's the one that I tend to notice the first anyway. Not even worrying about the beds, they can just fall asleep where they're at. I know it's going to give them a slight debuff on the next day, but I don't really care. We're not in a rush on anything. We got a decent amount of oxylite kicking off gases for us, so we should be fine on breathable air for a couple of days. And next day, I'm going to try to get this water dealt with. I don't know what I'm going to do here, because I usually build straight across. So I might just go to the left instead. instead, actually, I might just have to build a little bit different than I usually do, because I usually create like a grid pattern of 26 by 4 interior dimensions for my rooms. I find that works really well because then anything essentially can fit into it, and the dupes can reach anything in it that they need to do. They can't reach the roof from it if they're building in it, but you get the roof from above usually. You'll see what I mean when I get to that point. But until then, we're just going to have to deal with what we have here to deal with. So yeah, it also being the Rime asteroid, things do start getting cold quickly, so some of the outlying water pockets will sometimes start to freeze. So you do have to move fairly quickly. If you do notice that you have, say, a chunk of water over here, then it will start to freeze fairly fast, and you'll have to get to it before it does. Otherwise, then you have to turn it back into, or turn it back from ice, which is sometimes a pain. Okay, so I'll pause for a moment. Kind of take stock of what the heck I'm gonna do here. How wide is this? This is 20. Now, how far out would 26 be? Right there. That'll work. Okay. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. I'm just trying to plot out my base here. This is the weirdest start I've had in a while. I don't really like this map very much, but at the same time I do, because I see a lot of copper. I see some uranium over here. A ton of algae. Well, many tons of algae, I should say. Body temperature. So these plants should be enough just to give my guys enough food to get going, to get started. This is the size I make my rooms by standard, which makes it so that if I have two walls on the outside, like one wall with a door there, one wall with a door here, it'll be 96 tiles, which gives me the exact size that I need for a stable. And I think a few other rooms, but I can't remember which ones off the top of my head. Oh, darn it, I forgot to make beds again. See, and I usually have research going by the end of day 1, and here we are, day 2, end of day 2. I don't even have beds built. It's a weird map, I tell you. Weird map. I have a feeling like it's going to be a good map, though. It feels varied. Yeah, the materials overlay. Oh, gold biome. Nice. I'm just going to switch that to gas. That way when I click on it I can just kind of see where my oxygen levels are at. And I'm going to get another duplicate here possibly, so I'm going to make another one of each of these. This is very temporary right here. I'll be making them an actual barracks and a bathroom as soon as I can make the barracks and a bathroom. Just need them to finish emptying out this. I didn't think that went through. That might work though. Able to get some of it up off the floor. Using a higher priority. Priority 7 is my usual go-to for most standard high priority. If I need somebody to get something done immediately, then it still leaves me priority 8, 9, and yellow alert above that to be able to do what I need to do. Keep most things at the standard of 5. But yeah, you'll see how it all goes if you decide to stick with watching, because this is only going to be part 1 of however many parts I feel like doing to this one. Choose a blueprint. Oh, I don't want bionic dupes. I guess I'm going to take some algae. Do I want algae? No, I'm going to take the oxyfern seed because I got lots of algae. I have no oxyfern. So what I want to do is get this all mopped up. And then I can make a water reservoir. And it'll be pretty quick at getting all of this dumped into it at that point. I'm probably going to make the reservoir over here. That way I can just drain this water directly into it. Okay. Now I'm starting to get some stuff figured out here. 3, 4, 4. Start myself with a couple of rooms here. This will end up being, well, one of them is just going to be an area for research and stuff. It won't be an actual room. But I like to build everything out of ladders first. It's a lot more difficult for them to get trapped, and it makes it so that all of the materials end up at the bottom, so it's easier to collect. Everything is all in one spot. Do that, and then I am going to... Actually, I'm going to wait until they're done with that, and then I'm going to build my research area here, and below that's probably going to be the first of my ranches. I might only make 1 or 2 hatch ranches. That's all you really need if you don't use a lot of coal power, which I don't plan on using. I'm hoping to find a beta hive. If I can find a beta hive, then I will be able to hopefully have some Saturn critter traps. If I got those, I'm set for hydrogen for the game. So that's going to be one of the side focuses, is just to keep an eye out for areas with beta hives, which are the wolframite biomes. Set all that to auto harvest as well. Yeah, this is kind of a slow start. But Hopefully it won't be a bad one. Just gotta try to be consistent. And work towards the things that I know I need to work towards. Like oxygen production. I guess I can start building this now because they can't get trapped. I also like to leave a gap between a ladder and the next area, so this area here, there won't be anything in it until I unlock the fire pole, and then it'll have the fire poles. Actually, I'm going to change the default build to 7. So to do that, I just go to build any item, make the default priority of 7 down here, build it, and then I can just cancel it. Now anytime I go to build something, the priority of the build will be 7 until I change it in that menu. Yeah, I know, germs and disease, lots of things, no oxygen, I know. Need a food source, but my calories are going up. Alright, guys. Let's get this built. So I'm going to go with a manual generator right about here. I'm going to put a battery right about there. I always put a space between the two. I'll show you why in a moment. Now my research station. There we go. No power wire connected. Well, now there is. And that's why I put a space. Because I like to put an oxygen diffuser right next to them. And that way there's never usually a concern, at least early game, that the hamster wheels are going to run out of oxygen. Alright. I can't wait till it's a little bit later in the game and my guys move a little quicker and I have more of them to get things done faster. It kind of takes forever at the start. But I also don't recommend queuing up too much. Like this might have been overkill. I should have been doing it in smaller chunks. But if you queue up too many tasks, then it takes longer for them to do them because they don't prioritize it very well. But I'm actually going to fix that for some of it. Priorities, this little cogwheel up here, options, enable proximity. So it's really handy. So it's basically as soon as they're done doing something, they look for the closest high priority task to do, and that's the one that they do. So instead of just going to a random task, they go to the closest. Start getting these researches done. I'm a couple days behind schedule. Good thing I'm not on the prehistoric planet pack right now. A couple of days behind schedule could mean the difference between survival and not. Just trying to remember everything that I gotta do. So there's gonna be research. I'm probably gonna turn this area here actually into the bedroom. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like having the bedroom right next to the printing pod. maybe the bathroom 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 2 spaces for the, okay, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do my bathroom down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And medicine. Wash basin. 1, 2, 3. Now when these are done building, I'm going to make it so that they can't go out the right-hand door. They can come in it, but they won't be able to go out it. And that way I can switch these to left only. And so they'll hopefully wash their hands after they use the washroom. I'm going to set these to just open. So now I've got my first room, a latrine. It's beautiful, isn't it? It is, I know. And the True Tiles mod is what gives the different the tiles the different textures. It gives them a texture that's appropriate for the specific material that you're using. So if I were to build, I don't have anything else yet, but you'll see. When I go to build out the different materials, they'll look different. It's like obsidian is black, sandstone is this. Granite looks quite nice. Alright, what do we got going on here? I wonder. I can't remember if those go bad quickly. Alright, tier 1 digging, researching, and building. I'll put the bedroom here. The barracks. It's the only thing that makes sense at the moment. It's kind of nice because these things can just use the water that's kicking around on the ground that I mopped up. Oh, Mima. Oh, the nights. The nights are so long. Although if you're using bionic dupes, the nights aren't so bad because if you have a mixture of bionic and regular dupes, well, the bionic guys don't have to sleep, but they do have to recharge every, like, I think 2.5 days. So you get a lot more work done. Okay, so now I'm going to do this. Eventually I'm going to put some airflow tiles, actually probably mesh tiles through here. Not all the way, just a few through the middle. That way I can keep oxygen flowing and keep liquids from building up. Alright. guys are starting to build pretty good. Like, look at them go. Alright, so now I am going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that there is the maximum size that you can have for a barracks. Now, I wonder, that is how big? That is 64 tiles. So if I were to take it down by one, it would be 78. Nah, I'm going to keep it this way. It's a little bit less efficient on the usage of space, but it'll look nicer when I get it decorated. Besides, I'll eventually have private bedrooms for everybody. And once I got 3 beds built, I can deconstruct these. Oh yeah, I can deconstruct these. I'm just going to leave the doors open. It just makes the move a little bit quicker through the areas, because that way it acts as if there is no door. Because I don't want there to be anything to slow them down. Rooms. So now we have the barracks, and we have the latrine. And the latrine you can only get in from this side. You can't get back out it, but you can go in and out both ways over here. So basically, if you use the toilet, you gotta wash your hands. Will it get everybody? No, because I have more toilets than hand wash stations. But I don't care. Because eventually, I'm going to replace one of these with a shower. No sense in pausing it now. But yeah, I need to get actual food production underway. Maybe I'll do it here. And that'll be the size that I need to make. Yeah, see, everything's too cold to grow on its own, so I am going to have to get my food going. Now, I usually play with food turned off, without any hunger on my guys, but I figure if I'm doing a stream, I might as well keep the food turned on. So it's going to be probably a lot of hilarious trial and error, with a lot of error, as I try to figure out the best foods to make, how to make them. Because I have no idea. I know I'm going to want pacus. That's one thing. Those lovely little fish. But beyond that, I don't have a clue. I'm really hoping to get an actual decent duplicant here in the near future. I'd like for an extra one. Because that would be nice, because the 3 of them, they don't use a lot of oxygen or food, but they don't get much done. Yeah, it's chilly here. But that's fine. Oh, hey, what do we got here? This is how you can find out what a buried geyser is. you just go to the priority menu, yellow alert, select it, and then you look up here. That's a cobalt volcano. Well, I'm going to want it, but I don't want it yet. So I'm going to put that just as a priority 4. It's not a 5, because that way I know that I've seen it, I've checked it, and it's not a top priority for me. Probably will be eventually, though. That's a good place to get a cobalt volcano. Okay. A little bit of lag there. Oh yeah, bedtime. Yay, bedtime. See, at least it's not like minus 10 here. It wants to be. But it's not. So luckily my guys can still sleep. They don't get a good sleep, but at least they got to sleep. I got a lot of blueprints too. I'm going to switch to one of these other ones. I'm going to go with the lab cot. I also have a ton of blueprints to unlock, or to open. I have 136 to open that I'll do at some point here. I might make that its own stream, because that's going to take a few minutes. And then we can see all the different things that you can get as unlockables through the blueprints. Oh geez, nobody's doing anything. That means I'm doing something wrong. Food. This is one of those moments of, I gotta remember to not be silly and to do what I actually need to do before it's too late to do it. Yeah, I don't want to unblock that because snow's pretty not dense, so I don't want any carbon dioxide coming through there. I don't know if it will, but I have a feeling like it could. And could is enough for me. Oh yeah, geoactive. It was metal rich and geoactive. That's why there's one so close. But that's alright. That means we're going to have some fun with some geysers. And you're going to be able to see how somebody who has no idea how 98% of the automation in this game works tames a geyser. Here's a spoiler for you. Not well. But even though I lack some of the advanced skills and knowledge, I have gotten a colony to the point of not quite to the temporal tear, but I've gotten all of the space resources, and then I got bored. And then I started making a bunch of new files. I'm just going to take the muck route. I don't like ration boxes. Okay, so I need this to be like that. See, I build everything in this kind of grid pattern because then it makes it a lot easier after you've expanded out to be able to build your rooms. I also need to build a grand hall. I wonder if I can do that here. 28. What's the grand hall or great hall requirements? 32. We got a mess hall there though. There's dining tables. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. Where is that stuff under? Is it probably under furniture? Mess table, yes, there it is. So I'm gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7. Might seem like overkill now, but it will not be. Ideally, I like to have right around 24 dupes for maximum dupe power, I guess. But I find about 24 is not too bad for maintaining oxygen levels. Like I said, I don't usually play with food, so I'm not really sure if it's good for maintaining food levels, but we'll see. We'll see. So now I've got a mess hall, a barracks, and a latrine. Which means I'm probably going to want to make a food area actually over here. I don't want to break the oxylite. It'll still sublimate, but you get less oxygen from mined oxylite than you do from natural tile sublimation, because you lose, I think, half of the weight when you mine something out. So you lose half the oxygen potential, which isn't ideal, so I don't recommend it. It'll be gone soon enough. I mean, it's losing mass quickly, so it'll be gone quickly enough. So yeah, I need to go with 26. Still can't mine the abyssalite. That's the next level for my digger. It's another good reason to have somebody that's specialized in the different areas, because then you can climb them up that ladder a little quicker, you know? Without having to suffer the morale deficits. Now, eventually, my guys will all have huge morale deficits for a little bit, because they will all have most skills. But by that point, I will have massage rooms set up, possibly a couple mechanical surfboards. I love those. Those are awesome. Yeah, so I should make my food area over here, not over here. I should make my water area here because of this. And because of this. And not gonna lie, also because of the volcano over here. Come on, Ellie. Oh, it's not that cold. Mima must be the one that's immune. Yeah, I love how the duplicates have a melting point. I find that kind of funny. And I've always wanted to see if I could get to that temperature, but I don't think you can. I don't know. I've never... I don't think you can. And if you can, I have no idea how. But 9,700 degrees, yeah, no, I 3,000, like 30 some hundred on the superconductive asteroid, yeah, that's I can see that. Okay. I got too much good spots with food here. I'm gonna have to reevaluate how I was planning on doing things. I think I'm gonna have to make my water reservoir here. One, two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. I like to build down near the beginning because when you're building down, you don't have to worry as much about the CO2 buildup because that falls. So if you keep your base up a little bit higher above your lower areas, you'll notice that you won't have as much of an issue with CO2 buildup in your main living quarters. So I'm gonna go with the micro musher there, electric grill here. I don't know if I'm really going to be using that very much. I'm also going to be moving my research and power up to here. Now that I can get into tier 2 researches, I need a little bit more space. See, my guys are always trying to build first before anything else. If they can reach something to build, they will build it, which is really handy for taking out large areas. Because if I were to just click and drag dig out on all this, they would make sure to build all the ladders first, so that there's always a way for them to get out. Unless, of course, they fall down into an actual hole. Which does happen from time to time, but you gotta watch out for that. They're not smart. They will literally try to find the dumbest ways possible in which to put themselves into danger. Okay, so now I also like to put on either side when I'm making a water cistern a ladder in those particular spots before I build the walls, because once I build the walls, if they don't have a way out, they can get trapped, suffocate, and die. So I make sure that they've got the way out, and then I build the wall so they can get in and out now. At least enough that it matters, or that it doesn't matter. $36,000. Oh yeah, I need to get somebody with the grilling skill. Another cannot do cooking errands. What the heck's going on here? I guess I'll take the bliss burst seeds. I might never use them, but well, better than shine bugs. I hate these things. They always find a way to get into my bedrooms and keep my guys awake at night. And then they get annoyed. And rightfully so. So we're on day 12. We still only have 3 guys, which is not usually ideal, but we'll work with what we got. At least these guys can all wash their hands. Oh, and I can deconstruct all this stuff here now too. Now, most of what you'll see me do is like the quick and dirty versions of everything. Even when it comes to like setting up my hydrogen oxygen generation, I don't build a traditional SPOM. Like I don't build a Hydra style. I don't build any of those. I build something that I call the Spider. It's, you'll see when I get there, but it's like a 5-chambered machine. It's not super effective. It's not great at at power generation. It barely is enough to power itself because it does have a lot of components, but its main focus isn't for the power generation. Its main focus is oxygen generation and lasting until I can get to a point where I can tame a beta colony with some Saturn traps and set up my hydrogen power production for the rest of the game. That's the ultimate goal. Oh, I can build this side now. Oh, these guys. These dupes. I should probably keep the researches going. Even if I only do the tier 1s. Which maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just go through, do all the first tier 1s. Because I'm not in a rush to get to space. I'm not in a rush for any of that. I just need to keep them alive. And right now I'm doing an okay job of that. I will eventually do something that most people never do. I'll be replacing all of my wire with heavy watt wire. That way I don't have to ever worry about dealing with the transformers for the most part. I do use the transformers in some situations, but this way, with just using the heavy watt wire, I can just keep everything wired on one massive circuit, which is, in my eyes, a lot easier. I do not, never make the mush bars. If you can avoid it, don't make the mush bars. They are terrible. I don't have, I need my water. I need to focus on my water. Getting it down here, it's probably starting to get cold. Oh, no, it's not. Still 12 degrees, 11 degrees. See, most of the time in this game, you're worried about too much heat. On this map, you're worried about too much cold. It's not as bad as the Frosty Planet Pack, the DLC, but it's in that same ballpark. This is about minus 20, minus 40, in that range for most of it. Whereas the Frosty is like minus 60, minus 80. We've got a couple of warmer areas. Oh, the uranium is warmer. I wonder if it's always warmer. I've never noticed that. There was one map I had, I wish I could find or figure out which one it was, but I've got a lot of files on this game, where there was actually a spot from the base, the lava, the core, where it wasn't blocked off entirely with the abyssalite. So here I was about cycle 20, cycle 30, and I start noticing that there's an area that had steam in it, an area like this, that was starting to fill with steam. I could just barely see it. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, that wasn't like that a minute ago. What's going on? There's no vent. And I did a little bit more digging, literally, and discovered that, yeah, it was all heating up because there was a huge area. Actually, it was almost this exact size and shape that was open from 1 or 2 blocks that just had, I can't remember what it was, but like obsidian instead of abyssalite. So it was warming it all up, and it happened to be an ice biome. So it was melting it. It was kind of fun actually to try to get it closed off, because I ended up capping it off and using it for geothermal power. It was an interesting turn of events. Yeah, I'm gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do all the tier 1s. But I really need some more dupes. It'd be really nice to be able to get some more guys to help out around the base here, but I need ones that can do things like cooking errands, even though I don't seem to need to cook at the moment. Actually, where's the mesh tiles? They're up here somewhere, I think. Or I thought. I could be wrong. Must be down further. Where's the mesh tiles? I must be blind. Or just not there yet. Okay. Where the heck are they? I figure they'd be near liquid. Oh my lord, it's the one I'm currently... We're just gonna forget that happened. That last few moments just, we were just taking a short break. Yep, that's all that happened there. And nothing else. I guess I could, got a skill here. Oh. Some more science points there for good old Ashcan. So Ashcan is my researcher. I'm actually kind of pleased to see that I'm not having issues with my oxygen as of yet. I should probably start tracking some stuff here though. There's a few things that I tend to track always. And the ones that I always track that I have currently: algae, coal, copper ore, granite, ice, iron ore, and sandstone. The main things that I use. Level 2 construction. Alright. Polluted oxygen. Hopefully whatever I have for seeds can grow in polluted oxygen. I probably shouldn't have opened up this area yet. Actually, I'm going to block that off until I have deodorizers. So once I have deodorizers, then it doesn't matter. Come on. Come on. Come build the wall. Thank you. Now hopefully that'll just trap most of that in there. Now what do I have for seeds? Versal blossoms. I don't have the heat for that, I don't think. No, it's too cold over here. Is there anything I have that I can grow? I don't think there is. Temperature 10 to 30 degrees. Yeah, that's not going to work over here where it's minus frickin' 18. Okay. I gotta really hope that I can get some good seeds out of the printing pod. Because until that point, I can't do much with the food. Decrease husbandry, decrease germ resistance, no, definitely not. So, this one's almost worth taking, I think. You got to pee all the time. But, the extra strength and the extra machinery, I think will make it worth it. I'm gonna hope anyway, I'm taking them. Alright, I got my first new dupe since the start. Took till cycle 15, which is a little ridiculous, and, well, I guess that's what happens when you have nothing but bad options every single time. Yeah, research. I was gonna do all the tier 1s first. I am gonna get the automation wire before I do anything else, because I always forget until I'm in the middle of doing some other research, and then I'm annoyed. So, we have the water cistern built. We should have mesh tiles now. We do. Got a good chunk of copper. Enough that I can do that, no problem. I'm gonna put him there. I'm gonna build a ladder down into this area. From here, cancel that build. I'm queuing up way too much stuff right now, by the way. But that'll make it so that I can gather that water. I also need to come into contact with some other type of liquid. That way I will be able to differentiate between the two, or between the different liquids on my bottle emptier. Because if you don't, when you have just water selected, notice how it says all? Well, if you find more liquids like polluted water, it'll still say all here. It is a pain. So what I'm going to do here, actually since there's some right there, I'm going to dig this. Enable auto, and do that. So once I've mopped up a square of this, then I'll be able to... Actually, I'm just going to turn these off for right now. because I don't want to accidentally bring some from over here to over there. Like no oxygen. It's breathable in here, I guess that's all that really matters. See, now I don't want to put mesh tiles here, because if they pee themselves, I don't want that to get my water, so it's going to be just airflow tiles. But they're very slow at everything. Oh man. Disinfect. I actually like to put my I didn't think about doing this yet. My toilet's on a high priority. That way, even if they're doing a bunch of high priority building, they won't stop themselves from using the bathroom. Okay, that should look a little better now. Yes, it does. As soon as that's done, then they're going to go focus on that digging out by the polluted water. Oh, come on. You couldn't hold your breath for just a few more seconds there, Gossman. So now hopefully they'll come down here, focus on all this. Hoping. Except, of course, the researching going on up here. Oh, nice. The machinery guy gets better at machining. Come on, Ellie. I believe in you. Break through that abyssalite. Get to that beautiful, beautiful gold. And that putrid, polluted water. You're almost through the abyssalite. There's only a couple layers left to go. Come on, Ellie. Oh, Ellie. You're embarrassing me. Are you coming back? Okay. So it's about 2 2/3 of a block on a lung of air currently. Yeah, I know I probably had insufficient oxygen generation. I don't really care at the moment. I will in a moment, but I don't yet. And that'll solve some of my oxygen problems. I'm hoping to have some salt around here somewhere too. That'll be awesome if I have some salt. And then I can make some table salt for my guys as mess tables. Alright, so cycle 18 coming up here in a second. And it's starting to come together. Okay, I guess, yeah, once this is done here, then I can turn those on. There we go. Those will give me some sweet, sweet breathables. Okay. Now I got some gold too. Now as soon as that one's broken through. Perfect. I don't even care how much they mop up, because they're going to get some. Which means that now I can select just water. Now as I find more liquids, it's not going to keep dumping all of the new liquids into my nice clean water. That's not really very clean, but it still counts, kind of. It's going to block that off right now because that's a lot of polluted oxygen coming out of there. And I don't have deodorizers researched yet. I will shortly. Yeah, see, a lot of the water they're going to have to pick up from in here that's already bottled just to drop it in here. But the rest, they're going to come up here. And that's what the auto bottle setting is if you enable it on the drainers, the emptiers. Because I have it currently enabled, clicking it would disable it, but if it's enabled, then they can grab water directly from a pitcher pump and drop it off here. Don't do that if you have a pitcher pump in the place that you want to get the water to. Otherwise, they'll just get stuck in an endless loop of picking it up from the same spot and then dropping it off. What do we got here? 7 cuisine, excavation. Can't do building errands? Yeah, right. Decrease construction, requires light to sleep. No thank you, I'll take the rosebush seed. Okay. So that's built, good. I wasn't paying attention to them building it. I'm glad that nobody got stuck. Okay. I'm gonna have to set up some bristle blossom farm here somewhere. But I also want to open this area up a little bit. Make the dig errand, then cancel the uproot so that it'll destroy the sand without destroying the plant. I guess I could start getting bristle blossoms going over here if I can get the temperature up a bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. This might get real ugly real quick. I have not had an ideal start for food. I kind of need to find a way to just heat up a big area, but I don't want to do it too badly because it's a lot easier to heat it up than it is to cool it back down. Well, usually, actually, on this map, it's not so bad. So I'm going to have to get a metal refinery going as soon as I can here, because that'll help produce some decent heat. I can build it over here somewhere so it can trap the heat. Maybe I'll build some metal tiles above it, and then the farm tiles above that. Can I build metal tiles yet? No, I cannot. But I can build the airflow tiles, so I'm going to do that. So, 124, 124, 124. And that'll ensure that I have good airflow throughout all of my main living areas. I don't have to worry about the walls because the pneumatic doors that are always open take care of that. Alright, day 18 was a decent success. I might forego a little bit of researches here shortly. I got the deodorizer now. I need to get this smelting, but I also need these two as well, and this one, and this one. So maybe I won't forego the researching for right now. But I will dig some of these areas out a little better. I'm not going to do it that way though. There's sand right there. My guys are managing to subsist on a little bit of food that they're finding around here, so that's good. There. Now they're all going to prioritize water. Make sure there's one for everybody. The copy settings is a very handy feature. Without it, this game would be borderline, like, tediously overdone. Okay, good. Oh, that's not good that it's so cold over here. This is going to start to freeze, but this side's alright. So, hopefully my guys will start taking some of this water shortly, but because there's so many bottles on the ground, they're going to pick up all those first. But yeah, like, just like you don't want to mop in here to create extra bottles for them to dump, I wouldn't want to have the pitcher pump in here because it would create just an endless loop of grabbing water, dumping it, and grabbing water, dumping it. So I will not build a pitcher pump in this area until after this area is emptied. It's actually a good chunk of water up here. That's good, that'll keep me going for a little bit. Hopefully until I can start generating enough heat to melt stuff. Nice, I got the fossils on this one. I didn't even realize that. There's the hot guy. There's the cold guy. There's the polluted guy. And the normal one. Man, that's far away. That sucks. I like having that a little closer if I'm lucky enough to have it closer. Just because once you've done all of the fossils, it becomes a fossil farm. Or mine, so... yeah, I like having it close by because then I can not have to have massive commute times to be able to get to it. But that's okay. By the time I get to that point, I'll probably have some transit tubes going on. Do I have... I do. I'm just going to do it this way. This is all going to get deconstructed afterwards, so it doesn't have to be pretty at the moment. There. Now they won't be going to grab all the water, and the priority is a little lower, so now hopefully they'll get this stuff built, and once that's built, it'll just drain into there. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about doing that in the first place. Don't mind me, sometimes I don't think. Yeah, so instead of having to run back and forth 1,000 times, they just gotta build a pipe and a wire. And then once that's built, then I will start getting back into the researches, and I'll put this on a higher priority so that they can keep the power going until I can find a better solution for that. I mean, I could use coal at the moment, but I've only got a couple of tons, and that will not last very long. What do we got? What are our options today? Decrease strength and plus 10 strength. So I guess that's a total of plus 7 to strength. This would come in handy much later on. Right now I'm thinking about this, the husbandry. I'm going to go with this one. I don't have to worry about the stress reactions because those are turned off. But if I did, I would never pick destructive. Oh, destructive stress people. They have destroyed many a base of mine. They'll go and they'll like destroy part of the wall here when your water's full and everything will spill out. And, just pain in the butt. That's all. Just pain in the butt. I might build some temporary coal power. But if I can get one more dupe, then I could, without any issues, build a second hamster wheel. Have two of them running. Build it. Build it. And it's built. Perfect. So now the duplicates will focus on the bottles, and my pump will focus on this, and these guys will focus on researches. Yay. Alright, things are starting to come together a little bit. Still got to figure out the food situation though. I think foodstuffs will be the next researches. I kind of want it to be power, but I think the foodstuffs is more important. I need to get a refrigerator before everything spoils. Although on the plus side, everything is already pretty cold. So it does help reduce the decay rate. But I also need to warm some areas up, because they're too cold to do anything with. I can't grow any food. You can see how much they stand out. The only red spots. What options do I even have? Not very many. Mealwood and bristle blossoms. 5 degrees and 10 degrees. And this is still minus 20 over here because I haven't been able to warm any of it up yet. There though, now they'll focus on research and power. Because that is probably the number one priority currently. Alright, my little duplicants. Plunge that toilet, Nicola. Best thing about this game is it's fairly relaxing if you have at least a half idea what you're doing. It doesn't get too stressful until you start getting to later stuff, and you have to worry about things like some of the extreme heat. But I don't have to worry about most of that stuff yet. So it's in the relaxing phase. To do some researches, get your water all centralized, set up your areas, all before the major expansions. Why am I going to put it here? I should put it here. Rock rock crusher there. As soon as this is done, the next one is going to be the metal refinery next to it. Why is nobody doing this? Yeah, see, I like to put things, or put dupes onto tasks that's, they're suited for. That way you get the best bang for your buck for your calories. Which somehow are remaining fairly stable. I know there's no power wire connected because I want to get an actual heavy watt wire connected to you. Because I don't care as much about the decor. I probably should, but I don't. Put some decorations in here, some ceiling trim, some drywall, all that fun stuff. Once I've gotten all that done, then, well, it'll be a lot nicer for them. That's going to be a minute, because I'm not worried about those particular researches at the moment. Drywall's the least of my concerns. Well, the water's coming down pretty good. Might as well leave that on so that they can still grab the water while they're waiting. Get it done even quicker. Yeah, I have a specific order I usually do the researches in, so I don't spend a lot of time in that menu. You're not really good at anything, so you're going to be a farmer. That came out bad. I have nothing against farmers. I just meant that because he likes the tier 2 side of that one. Okay. Middle of the day. Water's moving pretty good. Alright, one moment on my phone. Sorry about the mic mute, but I did have temporary company. The boy has come in and he has decided that he's going to make supper for everyone. Well, they call him the boy, he's 18. And he's going to make supper for him and I, because we're the only ones home at the moment. He's awesome. Whoa, sorry, kind of zoned out there. That happens a little bit with this game. I got an option. What? Oh, sweat corn. Sweat corn's good. I think sweat corn grows in cold temperatures. Where are you, sweat corn? Are you at the top? You are. -5 to -40. Well, that's the range that we're in. Perfect. Oxygen. What does it eat? Ah, peat. I don't have any frickin' peat. Aw. Well, I was temporarily, very temporarily excited. And now I'm not. Now I feel like I wasted that. Because I kind of did. Because there won't be any peat anywhere on this map. Yeah, the bigger zoom out I find is a necessary mod. That's just one of those quality of life mods that everyone that plays this game should have. And true tiles just make things look nice. And gives you a few other options for, decorations. Purely visual, of course, because obviously it's not going to change the stats of the tile, it just changes the look of the tile. So now what I'm going to do here is I am going to put a couple of storage bins here, and I'm going to put ice in them. That'll have twofold effect. When the ice melts, because it will warm up gradually, when the ice melts, it'll give me water, and then we'll just fill it back up with ice if there's any available. It'll help keep the water cooler, which is really handy. And yeah, that's about it. It helps keep the water cooler and gives you a lot of water when it melts. Because it's 20 tons that it gives you if you have a full chest or a full storage container full. It takes a while for that to melt though, unless you have some pretty good heat going on, like 40 plus degrees consistently. It'll take a while for it to melt. But it's also a good spot to hold on to it for if you need emergency ice sculptures or temp shift plates that you can use to also be made out of ice to give you a quick boost to your water levels. Because as soon as it melts, you get the ice, or the water. So you just build a bunch of temp shift plates, like on the bottom level. They'll build them all, they'll melt instantly, and just add that water to your tank. Goes really quick when you have the ice kept actually right in the area that you're using it. I guess I can put them in here now. Nope, don't want to put them in there yet. Not until I get another liquefiable. You know what, I'm going to take it. I don't usually take demolition with most of my guys, but I'm going to take it on this guy. Got a ton of algae. Really like it if they went and actually did the researches, though. So I should. Well, I shouldn't, but I'm gonna put them up to a priority 8, so they'll even supersede all of my priority 7 constructions. Now, if at any point, if you're using the bigger zoom out mod and you feel that you have buggered up your priorities on some of your buildings, it's pretty easy to fix. You just zoom all the way out, priority 5, and select your whole asteroid. It'll reset all of your priorities back to their base level of 5. Okay. So I'm getting a lot of this water transferred over to my tank, and when that happens I'll be able to deconstruct all of this. Well, not the ladder, yeah, even the ladder eventually, but we'll go through layer by layer and do the plumbing, the wiring, get rid of these tiles here. Probably do that first. But yeah, that's actually a really good chunk of water there. I'm happy with that. So I should have a fridge now, shouldn't I? I do have a fridge. So 1 and a 2 and a fridge. Build it, build it, build it, build it, yay. All edibles. And then I'm going to deconstruct this one because it ain't refrigerated. These give off a little bit of heat, but not enough that it makes too much of a difference unless you put it like in a room of insulated tiles. Then it would make a difference. Nice. I can make barbecue. Okay, I'm gonna have to get some meat production going here somehow. Oh man. I think I'm going to make my first little hatch farm right here. Before I run out of the options to do so. I need the smart battery. But I also need the heavy watt wire. So I'm going to go with the smart battery first, heavy watt wire next. glad I decided to make that water pump. That's saving me a lot of time. I was storing a lot of muck root. But it is what I have the most of. Pretty quick here, I'm going to be hitting my well beyond my limit for what my one little manual generator can produce. Oh, I think I gotta go with this. Oh, but Nisbet's good too, so is Rowan. They're all, everything here is good. You know what, I'm going with the outfit. And it's gonna go on Ashcan. Look at that sweater. Look at it. I love it. And now he gets a nice little decor boost wherever he goes. He is awesome. Grooming station. And a critter feeder. Just gonna relocate the ice one little block at a time. It is not the most efficient way of doing it, but this will spread it out. So that it will melt faster. And I just kind of want to get it out of here before it becomes a problem. Do I think it'll actually be a problem? No. But I'm just going to get ahead of it. Anyway. Come on, build it. Build that one last time. There we go. Now I got a stable. I got a lot of sandstone. I know I'm going to probably regret this. I'm going to go with sandstone sedimentary rock. I don't want the morphs. I really do just want the regular hatches, but I will take what I can get. Okay, I should probably put these on a little bit higher priority too, just so they can keep getting delivered with some algae. And keep that research flowing. My food reserves have slipped slightly. Alright, look at them slowly moving things. Oh, it's actually a decent amount of ice in some of those chunks. Gonna want to focus on that for a minute, and so I can get that ice in here so that it'll melt and give me some better water stockpiles, because I am going to need it. And the quicker I can get the ice in here, the quicker it can start warming up. Although I do need to start building my metal refinery area, or just build the metal refinery. I'm going to put one block between. And then very soon I'll be able to get the heavy watt wire going, which is what I'm waiting for this. Liquid pump. Liquid pipe. Can I rotate this one? No, of course I can't. Connect it up with that, because that's only pulling what? Oh, it's 10 kilograms. Yeah, so that's pretty full. But pretty soon that'll be empty. And then I'll be able to deconstruct all that stuff. My biggest problem is that I always end up getting started with a mess of pipes and vents, and next thing you know, it's just ridiculous. I'm starting to try to get better at that now. To middling success. This is actually the second stream of the day. If you play other games like Valheim, that's another one that I stream. Had one earlier today with some of the best luck I've ever had in that game. So, if you like that game, I recommend checking it out. It was a little bit earlier today. But, yeah, that's the RTD mod suite on that one. And that one's a heavily modded game, whereas this one is the opposite. I want my water to be finished. I'm going to drop them to a 7. Because they're not taking any algae to my oxygen diffusers. Alright, what are we doing here? Just dropping off a bunch of water. Oh, I am dumb. I never realized before that you could actually see the water level in the pipes. Huh. I noticed it in some other machines, but I never noticed it in that one. Well, it's a good thing I don't claim to be smart. But yeah, if you're just joining, if you take a look at the chat window, that is the seed for this map. The beginning of the file, or beginning of the stream, I went over my starting options so that you can ensure that you actually get the right map. Otherwise it won't work if you're on the wrong settings. That being said, I don't necessarily recommend this map. This one kind of sucked. It took me a couple of days to get things up and running that I usually have up and running on day 1. Usually by day 50 I have most of my tier 2 researches done. By cycle 100 I can have most of my tier 3 done, if I'm lucky. Which I have not been. Oh, hey, water geyser. Alright, how well are you blocked off? That's hilarious. The area that I was talking about was kind of like the spot that had a lot of heat before. Is a spot that's going to end up with a bunch of heat now. Just a different source. And thankfully not quite as intense. Why is nobody delivering anything to here? Oh my lord, okay. Ooh, no, no, no. Fertilizer's not bad. If I had a better setup right now with my ice storage, I'd be grabbing that, but I'm going to grab the fertilizer instead. Will I use it? Probably not really. But at least I have it in case I want to. Oh yeah, I still gotta run power down here. Dig out the sides a little bit. And that way when it gets low enough I'll be able to mop it up and be quicker. I appreciate the attempt there, Mr. Shinebug, but your light's not quite enough here. Okay. So I'm going to end up having to replace my power wires, get the heavy walk going right away, but I can't do that until I've done this. Let's get that ice picked up. Come on, guys. %, done. Growing, that's good. Do I have any other hatch eggs? I don't see any other hatch eggs. I see a hatch. Can I move him yet? Should be able to. How old are you? Oh, you're ancient. That hatch is about to die of old age. He's 100 years old on day 32. Get him put in here. Got a hatchling down there. I'm surprised I even saw it. Just a little bit of movement. Perfect. There. Tiny baby, and he's happy. You're about to have another little friend there, Mr. Hatchling. 92%, so a couple of days. Couple of days you'll have a little friend. So this is all built. Gonna get that one up to mechatronics. Don't really need the emulsifier right away, but now I'm at the stage where I might as well just get the things I need. I don't like that this is still so cold. I'm gonna put my output input here, output here for my metal refinery. And that way it just won't keep recycling the same hot water. And it'll warm this up so that if it does end up freezing before I can get this on the go, then the hot water will melt that. Oh good, my ice is finally all in here. Minus 2 degrees. And thermal tolerance. Once again, sorry for the microphone mute. Just had to give some input on the supper that's being cooked. Boy's awesome. Yeah, I'm not getting enough power to run things now. I might have to fast track my hydrogen, my oxygen farm. But if I'm going to do that, I have to build up and down a little ways, even if it's just on ladders. Yeah, I'll probably just keep it with manual power for right now. So after this research is done, I think I will hold off on doing any more for a minute until this water's dealt with. And that way that's power that's not getting run to the 2 research stations. That can be run up here to the pump until it gets low enough that I can just mop it up. It's not too far from that point, but still got a ways to go. See each one of those duplicates that's bringing water over here. That's the equivalent of 24 full pipe pieces that he just carried. Yeah, that's another 24. So it adds up quickly when they're doing it manually. It just takes time. And duplicant power. Yeah, I know I got long commutes and my base is tiny. I know. Believe me, I know. Oh yeah, I can do this now. And then I'll try to build those ladders and fire poles up and down as far as I can until something gets directly in the way, which in this way here, yeah, this is going to be directly in the way, which might actually be really useful because if there's a whole bunch of ice and cold things that are up here, as I build down with the set of ladders, it'll all build up, and then I can just drop it all onto that at once, and that will give it, like, it'll cool it off pretty quick. I've done it a few times like that. It's surprisingly satisfying. Okay. Okay, come on, just a little bit further. Just a few more duplicates running water. Oh, that could be handy. But so could that. Husbandry, agriculture, and excavation boosts. That's a pretty well-rounded dupe. I'm going with Devon. So now things are going to start getting a little bit more fun to try to keep track of. I need to get the food up and running. That is, without question, has to happen right away. But I can't do that until I get this dealt with, so that I can get this running. I probably shouldn't have taken another dupe. That'll give me a little more oxygen and a little bit more access to a couple of garbagey pieces of food. Although these will disappear pretty quick because they're sitting on top of the oxylite. Alright, so no research selected. Perfect. So that means that more things are going to be in power. More stuff's going to be happening. Good. There we go. Seeing that water moving a little bit better. Temporarily. I managed to contain that polluted oxygen pretty good, though. Although I'm starting to get a little bit inundated with CO2. Baby hatchlings are cute when they sleep. Who am I kidding? They're just cute in general. Look at the little things. They're so happy. They're smiling. Alright, so I've pretty much got the one side done except for this piece here. Which for some reason this happens quite a bit, where there's one spot that doesn't get built right away. It's like it gets stuck in a job queue or something where one of the duplicants is claimed that job but doesn't actually go to do it. So you frequently have to cancel it and then redo it. Another reason not to queue up too much for a whole lot of builds, because if that happens to a bunch of stuff, then you could be spending a lot of time just trying to fix it. Which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. See, it got delivered, but nobody ever built it. Not a problem this time, though. Now it's getting built. Very close. Come on. See, I don't want to get too much going right now because I need everybody to be all hands on deck in a minute to build the heavy watts, to mop this up, to deconstruct the stuff up here. Come on. It's got to be getting close. It's got to be. I think. Maybe. I don't know how little it has to be. I think it has to be less than 200. And if that's the case, we're very close. But it'll happen tomorrow. So all these lazy bones are going to bed. Lazy bones. I want my heavy watt. But I ain't doing that till this is done. Oh, if that's the case... No, 200 is not the cutoff. I have no idea what the cutoff is. But I'm hoping I find it soon. Because I'd really like to be able to get onto something different here. Oh, there we go. 150. 150's got to be that cutoff. There we go. Perfect. So now I can go on to the different overlays. Nope, that's the wrong thing. I needed this overlay. Deconstruct all that. I need my plumbing overlay. Deconstruct all that. Also get that. Now I gotta get these guys. And then this. See, in a few moments it's going to be like I was never here. And just like that, it's like I was never there. Okay, let's get some heavy walk going. It's a lot more expensive to build, but in my opinion it's worth it. Even with the downsides it does have, I still find it worth it. Like, it can't go through walls or doors, so you have to use a joint plate if you want to use it through a wall or a door. Otherwise you just have to kind of snake around with your ladders like everything else. Or basically you can follow the path that your dupes can follow, minus doors. So yeah, it won't be very long now before they got all the heavy walk going. And I will turn in this area here, I think. Yeah, this area here. I need some... copper. Bonbon tree? Minus 75 to minus 15. What do you... Snow. Huh. Well, let's give it a go. What does this produce again? Nectar. It produces nectar. Another farmer. Not necessarily a bad thing. Alright, that guy's almost tame. This guy's almost tame. Perfect. I don't like it, a polluted oxygen here. Is that enough? It's not enough. It's enough for the battery. But now I need more copper. More. That should be enough. I want to get the gold on there as well. I want to get copper on here as well. And now I am going to put down... wrong tab. Unos, dos, tres. And an automation wire. And a power wire to actually connect everything. Otherwise, it's pointless. And then once I have that going, then I can deconstruct this one up here, as well as this battery, because I won't need this little tiny thing. It'll just be a useless draw of power. Age 82. Well, you aren't really worth bringing over into my farm, so I'm not gonna... we'll go with, just, I don't know, 50. That should warm it up pretty good over here. And actually, that should warm it up quite a bit. I never like them at full because they never usually like to stay full, so they'll get close, but unless you have a really good amount of power generation, then they won't get to full super easily. And 35 at a low threshold, so when it hits 35%, then my guys will start coming over here. Priority 7 rows. Deconstruct that and deconstruct that. Huh. There's some snow for my bonbon tree. Priority on those. Even though that's not really going to give me anything that I need. Pemmican. What do I need for pemmican? Stuff I don't have. Growing 2%. Oh yeah. It needs light too. But the branches can be harvested for wood, so that could be good. It's starting to warm up the area around it. This was mostly ice not too long ago. Now it's mostly just water. Polluted, but still water. Yeah, the refinery uses a lot of power. 1.2 kilowatts. Yeah, that's quite a bit. Okay, how is the heat looking here? Still cold as heck, but starting to warm up a little bit. Food on this asteroid is always the problem. just extend this down a little bit. Not much else to do at the moment while I ruminate over the fact that I'm going to be out of food in a cycle or two. I lack grilling skill. Yeah, I'm going to have to get that. Oh wait. Those aren't the ones I want to destroy. Those are. Otherwise I'm not going to get that sweet, sweet water from down here. Oh, it's starting to freeze. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to approach the next little areas of what I got to do. Might as well get this research going, though. I don't know why I've held off on it now. Liquefiable. Okay, good. Ice. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I want that other ice to melt first. Need those other chunks that I brought in to melt before I start bringing them all into a container where it'll take them longer to melt. Okay, you got access to snow somewhere here. We did. Alright, well, we're currently at cycle 40. I have no permanent food solution, which isn't ideal. Yeah, you can get the grilling skill. What can you make? Nothing. 'Cause I don't have any meat. I need pacus. I don't know how I can get pacus without getting them from here. But, yeah, I'm just going to pause that for right now. Oh, in a moment. I want to see if this will get fertilized. Come on. Come on. Yay! And the bonbon tree grows. Those are all terrible. So I'll take the sand. Alright. So, cycle 40. No permanent food solution. Not great. Starting to run a little low. So, yeah, not awesome. Finally got that water dealt with, emptied, put into here. Got the metal refinery up and running. Bathroom, bedroom, stable down here. So I've got a few things going, and mess hall. So I've got a few decent things going for me here. As long as I can get some food going, get some better oxygen production going before I end up running low on algae. I mean, I got a lot right now. I got almost 30 tons of already mined stuff with a bunch that's not mined already, as you can see all around. But that's not the point. The point is, I need to get to the next tier of stuff. But before I end up getting to that point, I'm going to be taken off. So, this stream Thank you very much. If you took part, if you watched, during, after the fact, whatever, I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. We'll be picking this one back up again as time permits. I don't have a set schedule for my Oxygen Not Included streams yet. I only have a set schedule for my Valheim streams. So I will be trying to get to this one as often as I can. But worst case scenario, they will always live in my previous live streams area of my channel. So anyway, that being said, wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope you have a great one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Bye.